Hi Capricorn, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of May. It's a very busy month, so I'm going to dive in and break it down as best as I can. So at the end of April, Pluto, which is the planet of death and regeneration, stationed retrograde in your sign on April 27th at 26 degrees and 48 minutes of Capricorn. And you feel that station 5 days before and 5 days after. And remember, last year was the epic of Capricorn. Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto were all transiting in your sign, as well as the south node of karma, beckoning you to release things that are no longer working. And also the eclipses were in the Capricorn Cancer axis until last summer, with the final eclipse in Capricorn on July 5th. So you've been going through a lot of transformation in the last few years. Now Pluto is further along and it retrograded in your sign, bringing a lot of transformational change. And you'll still feel that energy in the beginning of May. In early May, there are 4 points transiting in the fixed Earth sign of Taurus. And they're all transiting in your house of romance and creativity and love affairs and joy. And this is a good time for romance and happiness and finding ways to be creative and finding joy. And on the 2nd of May, Mercury forms a beautiful trine to Pluto in your sign. And this is good for doing healing work around love, and also good for getting to the bottom of things and positive, empowering communication. On the 3rd of May, Mercury changes signs, and early in the day, it squares Jupiter while it's still in Taurus, and exaggerates all forms of communication and ideas and just a lot going on. And later in the day, it enters Gemini, where it will be until July 11th. And that's a big deal because Mercury rules the sign of Gemini. It's a mutable air sign that's very centered on communication and learning and gathering and dispersing information. But there can be so much at once and a lot of twists and turns, a lot of communication in so many different ways, people resurfacing from the past, getting information from the past. And for you, the entire time that Mercury is in Gemini, it's going to be in your house of work and daily routine, as well as health and wellness. And this is an opportune time for you to really assess how you can be more structured in your habits, but also focusing more on self-care, because you've been through a lot the last few years. And on that date, Saturn squares the sun. Saturn is the ruler of your chart, so you're very familiar with that energy, and it's just a reality check for all of us, knowing that this is going to be a wild few months. How do we commit to all of the change that's happening so rapidly? On the 6th of May, Venus forms a beautiful trine to Pluto in your sign. And this can be excellent if you're single for a first date or for meeting somebody new. It can be excellent for romantic opportunities, even if you're in a relationship, having a lot of joy and romance. It's also excellent for financial projects and opportunities and for healing around love and what you value. And on that day, the North Node of Destiny forms a helpful aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer. And this enables you to do healing work around home and your emotional foundation. So this is nice energy. On the 8th of May, Venus changes signs and enters the sign of Gemini, where it will be until June 2nd. So now you've got Mercury and Venus transiting in your house of work and routine and health. So finding joy and happiness in your exercise routine, nutrition, taking care of yourself, maybe more meditation and relaxation, but also work, all of the habits that are healthy for you. And on that date, Venus squares Jupiter, so there can be an excessive energy, but I think it's going to be nice with Venus in Gemini for you to really take care of yourself and your habits and center them, you know. And on the 11th of May, there is a beautiful new moon that takes place at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 21 degrees and 18 minutes of the fixed Earth sign of Taurus. And this new moon falls in your house of romance and love affairs. So again, this is an excellent month for love for you, for new beginnings in that area. A lot of focus on work and health, but definitely on romance as well. And the moon is exalted in Taurus. It's a very manifesting new moon because it trines Pluto in your sign, which brings a lot of transformation and empowerment because Pluto is transiting in your house of self. And this new moon also sextiles Neptune, and that's lovely energy. And on the following day, the sun sextiles Neptune, which is really nice as well, on the 12th of May. And Mercury, which is communication, trines Saturn. And this is good for financial opportunities for you and good for work. On the 13th of May, it's a big deal because Jupiter changes signs. And I've never seen that happen before, where Jupiter transits an entire sign and enters the following sign for a few months. And in this case, Jupiter is going to exit the sign of Aquarius on May 13th and enter Pisces, where it'll be until July 29th. It's going to get as far as 2 degrees of Pisces, and it's going to be transiting in your house of learning and local community and neighborhood. It's good for teaching and writing and taking classes. It's also excellent for networking and meeting people. If you're looking for a job, this is excellent for all forms of interviewing because this is your house of communication. It's excellent for commerce. And also, Jupiter rules Pisces in ancient astrology, so it's technically in its dignity. It's excellent for the artists and musicians and the creatives that have been displaced in all of this, and excellent for love and compassion, and a lot of opportunity for learning and teaching for you. So I think that's something you will enjoy, and that is a huge shift that we're all feeling in the middle of May. On the 17th of May, the sun trines Pluto in your sign, and this is good for romantic opportunities, but also for feeling empowered in what you're doing. On the 18th of May, Venus forms a sextile to Chiron, the wounded healer. And this could bring help with doing healing work around wounds, around family, or just things that it's been such a difficult time. So that's a nice, helpful energy around healing. And on the 19th of May, Venus trines Saturn, and that's good for commitment in financial and work projects for you. And it's also good for relationships of all forms. On May 20th, the sun enters the mutable air sign of Gemini, where it will be until the summer solstice on June 20th. And now you've got the sun, Mercury, and Venus all transiting in your house of work and routine. So really getting busy and focusing on how you can structure in a very healthy and productive manner. On the 21st of May, the sun squares Jupiter. Maybe that's a lot of work or things going on in your life, but that's not a bad aspect. On the 22nd, Mercury squares Neptune, and that can bring miscommunication. It can be excellent for doing manifesting work, and again, you're focusing a lot on your habits and routines, and perhaps meditation is one that you want to implement more in your routine. On the 23rd of May, Saturn, which is the ruler of your sign, stations retrograde at 13 degrees of Aquarius in your house of money and income and self-worth. And you feel that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. And this is really an opportunity to anchor yourself in how you can be more efficient in your financial habits, in the way you earn income, and in addressing your self-worth. On the 26th of May, there is a full moon eclipse that takes place at 7:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 5 degrees and 26 minutes of the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius. And this full moon eclipse takes place in your house of spirituality and endings. Perhaps there's something that you're letting go of. This could be a very spiritual eclipse, but realistically, eclipses are very unpredictable. They're like wild cards. You know, a lot's going on in a very short period of time. Major endings, major beginnings, news out of the blue, kind of like Uranian transits. It's a very unexpected time with a lot of activity. And this lunar eclipse could bring completion and endings to things that you've been working on. And on the 29th of May, Mercury meets up with Venus, which is lovely energy, and then it retrogrades at 24 degrees and 43 minutes of the mutable air sign of Gemini in your house of work and routine, and it retrogrades until June 22nd. So this is an excellent opportunity for you to reassess how healthy you have been, how well you've been taking care of yourself, and in doing work, are you being focused in a way that's best for you? And on the 31st of May, Mars trines Neptune in the sky, and that's very creative and beautiful energy. We're in eclipse season. There's a lot going on. There are 2 retrogrades between Mercury and Saturn. We have a lunar eclipse at the end of the month, so it's going to be a very busy month. I wish you a lot of luck, Capricorn, and thank you very much. Take care.